What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MIRE. Keith Glock and Matt Polk live from the Command Center in Lawrenceville. Very happy to bring you NJSIAA Group 4 playoff football. Polk, what's going on, buddy?
Playoffs.
If you haven't seen Polk, I got to give you credit. Your editing skills have come a long way in that video you produced yesterday. Well done. So we're going to we'll bring that to you, I'm sure, right before kickoff.
Is that a test? Is that a test to see ownership? Or?
No,
Okay.
I'm just messing around. Tonight, Montgomery at number 1 seed Northern Highlands. Cougars obviously last week lost to Cranford, but we knew that there was a path to the playoffs, and we rooted for Demarest. Demarest came through, beat Bergenfield for us last weekend, and Montgomery obviously qualified as the 16th team in 4 North, which is split into 2 different sections. This is 4 North 1, and we are the 8. Northern Highlands is the 1, and therefore that's why we're up there. But I got to tell you, 2 hours north, not really a thing we could have pulled off today, so that's why we're we're broadcasting here in Lawrenceville. But broadcast we do nonetheless. Matthew, why don't we show everybody at home why Northern Highlands is the number 1 seed? And their statistics are pretty impressive, I have to tell you. Their quarterback, Enzo Arjona, is, because I was talking to Zoran Milic about this earlier in the week, and I said, I was so impressed with Van Dam, the quarterback for Cranford. And he said, oh, yeah, if you're impressed with him, why don't you just hang tight, because the guy that we're going to see next week is really, really, really good. So, obviously you see 1,300 yards, you see passing touchdowns there. He also runs the ball. The other guy that you're really going to need to look for is number 5, Nick Branca, almost 1,000 yards rushing. He's also one of their top receivers. He and Arjona are really the only 2 guys who touch the ball on the ground, but they are about as good all around as you're like. It's, I guess, it's not really a surprise, I should say, that they are the 1 seed. This is not a paper tiger 1 seed at all.
I mean, if they can do everything well when your offense is clicking, especially if you're having a game where, your defense is struggling a little bit, but you're running the ball and giving them time to, recover and get back. And then if you can just throw the deep ball, obviously, that's going to be huge. So they're going to be tough to deal with. One
of the things that really makes them so difficult is the amount of misdirection that they run offensively. We're going to talk to defensive coordinator Brian Santinello. We're going to play you the interview that I had with defensive coordinator Brian Santinello in just a couple minutes. But one of the things that he really turned me on to in terms of their offense is that they are not like Cranford. Cranford had all those big uglies up front that were just going to run right at you. There was no need to pull anybody, because that's just not really a thing that was necessary when you got 280-pound guys across the line. Northern Highlands, a little bit different. They're going to attack in one direction, then put a foot in the ground and come back the other way. So, in my opinion, it's going to be all about discipline on the defensive line.
Absolutely, and just reading what's going on. We're going to have to be alert. We're going to have to understand that if certain things are happening, it may not be a pattern. It may just be that, no, this is what they do, and we need to watch the motion. We need to stay home. We need to do all the things that, Coach is telling us that could happen, because I think Northern Highlands is going to be well-versed in, teams getting confused by that. So if we can stay home, it might rattle them a little bit.
One of the, listen, we're very self-aware people here, right? Well, at least I like to think that I am. I guess a not self-aware person who claims to be self-aware is like the worst thing in the world.
But that's one of those catch-22 conundrums. I don't know what that is.
Tenet. That was a Tenet situation right there.
Don't get me started on Tenet.
Which direction did I walk through the thing?
Don't get me started on Tenet.
We know what we are at Montgomery. We are very intellectual. I really think that today could be the kind of game where let me focus on my assignment, let me focus on my job, let my intellect carry me to a place where if I'm doing my job and everybody else is doing their job, then we might be able to keep this offense under control and just give us a chance, enough of a chance to hang in this one.
Yeah, this is different than Cranford in the sense that we're not looking at a running back going, this guy could change the game regardless of what we do. This is more about scheme. This is more about understanding what we did in practice all week and, what the scout team was showing us. And if they can just remember all those things, then we can tackle. We know that. That's not a concern. It's just, can we be in the right spot to do it?
Now, everybody breaks my stones about being the king of analogies, but I am, okay? I get it, all right? I'm going to give you one that I think is going to make sense to anybody that's ever worked out in a gym in their life. when you go out, you go and work out, and then your first set is 10 pounds. Your next set's 20 pounds. Your next set's 40 pounds. Your next set's 80 pounds. And your next set's 100 pounds. If the set after that is back down to 20 pounds, how light does 20 pounds feel?
Oh, you're throwing it around.
You're taking it and you're throwing it across the room.
Yeah.
Last week, Montgomery lifted the 100-pound set against Cranford.
Yep.
Okay? Today, not that Northern Highlands is not big and strong, because they are. They're the 1 seed for a reason. But last week was the 100-pound set. This week, things come back to earth a little bit in terms of a physical matchup, which we know you can't escape the physicality of football. I think in terms of timing of when you worked out with the 100-pound set, not that you're going back to the 20-pound set here with Northern Highlands, but maybe you're going to the 70-pound set. And you're not going to be as intimidated maybe as if this was the biggest, strongest, fastest team that you faced, because I don't think it is.
All right, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. You
chew on that one at home, folks.
Managed to call them 20 pounds and somehow get away with it, but either way. But yes, the fact that they had linemen last week that were, almost 300 across the board, this is going to feel like a somewhat normal high school game where if we execute, we're actually going to feel good about things instead of, whoa, that was my best effort and I barely kind of got in there. So you're right. See how much that hurts?
I know it hurts you.
It hurts.
We have an interview coming up with the head coach. Listen to me, I'm on autopilot. The defensive coordinator of the Montgomery Cougars, Brian Santinello. Then we're going to bring you Pogue's highlight hype video, and then we're going to have kickoff. Montgomery, the number 8 seed in Group 4 North, against the top seed Northern Highlands. It's playoff football. We're excited. Get excited. Stay with us. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience.
Welcome back to the MIRE pregame show. Keith Glock here with the defensive coordinator, the man with the most difficult job, I'd say, in the last 2 weeks for Montgomery football, Brian Santinello. Coach, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Excited for this weekend.
All right, that's awesome. Congratulations on being in the playoffs, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Last week, we'll look back briefly before we look forward. I joked, although it's clearly not a joke, that you had the most difficult assignment I probably of anybody in pads or out. And that's kind of designing the scheme to stop 2 of the state's best offenses last week in Cranford and then this week in Northern Highlands. Just like, what does a game week look like for you in weeks like this? You get any sleep?
I don't. This week was tough, especially because Sunday was Halloween, and I took my kids trick or treating, and normally I'm spending 5, 6, 7 hours on Sunday breaking down film and that sort of thing. So I was a little behind the 8 ball. So I was burning the candle at both ends Monday night, Tuesday night so far this week. So. Not a lot of sleep, but you got to do what you got to do.
When you see a team like Cranford and now Northern Highlands that can really do so many things, not only can do so many things offensively in terms of their versatility, but are just physically imposing like that, where does your brain go first about how you're going to try to combat something like that? Is it schematic? Is it,
one thing I've been telling the kids every week is we need to find an edge wherever we can. We played Cranford. They were much bigger than us. So where can we find an edge? Is it tendency? Is it, pressure, bringing pressure? With Cranford, it was a little bit of a tendency, and our reads were a little bit easier. They were straightforward in the fact that they kind of lined up and ran right at you. They were bigger than you, and that's what they did. They're just going to physically impose on you, which is difficult for its own reasons, but at least in terms of being in the right spot, it was a little bit easier because we knew where the ball was going. With Northern Highlands, they're not quite as big as Cranford, but a lot of misdirection. They love counter. They counter off of every single play, and you always have to account for the quarterback because he's a tremendous athlete as well. So that makes it difficult, again, in and of its own right. So it's just looking for that edge. Is it a tendency? Can we bring pressure? When can we play man versus when we have to play zone? Just looking for some sort of edge against a team that is potentially bigger than you, stronger than you, faster than you, which we've seen at times this year. So.
Sure. Northern Highlands presents that other problem where it's not only when you maybe you think you see a tendency or maybe you want to try some things schematically. That they have the ability offensively within the play to really read what you're doing. So it's not really like a situation where they're going to line up and, everything be damned about what they see on the defensive side. They're locked into one thing that they're doing. They're going to adjust, mid-play. How difficult is something like that for you as a defensive coordinator? Is it limiting? Is it, I mean,
it's difficult because there have been teams this year that are very tendency heavy. There's been teams that formational tendencies. When there's formation, we have a good idea of what's coming, and whenever I can find those tendencies, the kids get excited about it because we have an edge here. With a team like Northern Highlands, you can be right, but also you're still wrong, which makes it tough. That's why since day one of camp, our mantra as a defense is run to the football. Run to the football. So when you're playing a team that can do a lot of things, you got to be sound at the front side of the play, but then they can also counter off of it. The quarterback can keep it and read it. One of the best ways to account for that is having 11 hats to the football. And if you have the whole team running to the football as much as possible, if one or two guys are out of position, it's not the end of the world because a third or fourth or fifth are coming in. And that's something we try and stress week in and week out. And against a team like Northern Highlands, I'm hoping, just that effort is going to, be one of those edges that we can get in this game.
When you talk about that front side of the play, back side of the play thing, and the way that misdirection plays into all that, it's almost like there can be, and we're talking inches, not feet, and feet and not, yards of, am I holding an edge? Am I, what I mean? That one guy gets out of position and then all of a sudden, you find if somebody doesn't do that, they can really, rip one off on you. From your perspective, would you rather be the bend but don't break team, or maybe more of a, and this is probably a bad example just because they're not playing very well right now, like a Kansas City Chiefs, Dennis Allen type defense, where if we can get you, one big loss, on a particular series, we might be able to get off the field here.
I've always, in just the way I approach defense, I've always been more of a bend don't break defense. When I was coming up coaching, I coached for some guys that were a little bit more of that aggressive type, and there's definitely a place for that. The thing I didn't love was when you are over aggressive and that sort of thing, one mistake is not, a big game. One mistake is a touchdown because, you're sending pressure and you're playing man on the outside and the guy gets beat and it's a touchdown. And that's just kind of always been my philosophy as a defense. Having said that, when you're playing a team as good as Northern Highlands, you got to take risks at times, because if you don't, because they're so well coached, they are a very disciplined team. You can't cover everything on every play. It's impossible. You have to either, kind of, commit a few more to the run or commit a few more players to the pass on every given play. And it's your job as a defensive coordinator to determine what formations you're committing more to the run or to the pass, what down and distances you're committing more to the run, more to the pass. But you can never be perfect because there's always holes. There's only 11 guys on the field and there's a lot of space to cover. So against a team like Northern Highlands, I'm really trying to look for the opportunities to be aggressive, the opportunities to kind of take risks and get those big plays and put them, behind the chains and things like that, because I think that's an area where if we can get them in a few situations like that, we can be a little bit safer, keep the ball in front, live to see another play kind of mentality.
I'm going to give you a philosophy. This is probably going to make me smarter and hopefully make everybody else smarter. So I'll give you a philosophy and then you shoot holes in it. Through the years of doing this, I'm just a sports fan, so I watch these types of things on, multiple levels, professional, college, high school, for 25 years now. It pains me because we're that old now. But in the high school game, you have things you want to accomplish, whether that's a pressure, whether that's more base, whatever that is. How do I get to what I want to do in a way where they don't know that's what I want to do? So disguise, essentially, is what I'm talking about. And can I accelerate the offense's ability, or not ability, the necessity for the offense to process what it is they're seeing and execute what they're trying to do. Because I guess my philosophy on that at the high school level was always like, it takes probably a little bit longer for a 15 and 16-year-old kid to visualize, process, execute than it might, an NFL quarterback who sees that, over and over and over again throughout his career. Just on a base level, that's why I think I've always been more of on that aggressive side of it, because when you're playing a team like this, as you've said, you might have to take one of those risks. Where do you, I guess, shoot holes in that philosophy regarding the requiring them to process and execute more quickly than they want to?
Well, one thing we try and do, and I'll be the first to admit, we probably don't do as good of a job as we want to, is, pre-snap movement. One thing a defense hates from the offense is a lot of pre-snap movement, a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, because guys are supposed to be, in my opinion, one of the biggest breakdowns from a defensive standpoint is pre-snap alignment. If you're misaligned pre-snap, in some situations, it's impossible to be right post-snap because you're already misaligned. So it's balancing that where you want to have some pre-snap movement, play up and then bail in the secondary, show some pressure and then back off, in the front, or vice versa, back off and then bring pressure. Our D-line does a decent job of moving around late. The problem with that is, again, if you get caught and you're out of position, it's really hard to be where you're supposed to be post-snap. So I guess it's doing a good job of marrying those two things together, being able to have some pre-snap movement, being able to be aggressive, but also making sure you're where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And it's something that, I think we've gotten better with as the years gone on, but it's still something that we struggle with. And, another thing that helps with that is just you only have really a practice and a little more than that defensively during the week to really put in your game plan. So, you're up against time, and, you try and get as much done in the summer, in training camp as you can. But it really depends on the crop of kids that you have, because when you're a little bit more inexperienced in that camp, in the summer, you're doing a lot of fundamentals, you're introducing the defense. When you have kids that are coming back and are a little bit more experienced, you don't have to spend time on that. You can spend time on being a little bit more aggressive and exotic and moving guys around and playing that chess game. So it's definitely a balancing act between all of those things, I would say.
So then, if pre-snap movement from an offensive perspective is so difficult for you, why is there not jet motion on every play, if only to keep the ends on it?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the more moving pieces and the more variables in play on every play, the more likely something can go wrong. So having pre-snap movement in smart, intelligent ways is good, but if you overuse it, you can also, leave yourself open to more mistakes or being vulnerable in certain places. And then also, I think sometimes when I'm breaking down an offense, like I'm looking for formational tendencies, or I'm looking for down and distance tendencies. But against teams that have a lot of motion, sometimes their motions are extreme tendencies. And as was the case with some of the teams we played this year, for example, against Linden this year, we played a very good game against them defensively. Only gave up 3 points. A lot of what they did was based off of jet motion. But depending on the motion and the formation, when you put it all together, they had some tendencies that were 100%, which allowed my kids to pin their ear back and know where they're going. So I think if you over rely on anything, whether it's motion, whether it's, running the ball, passing the ball, if you over rely on something too much, then you're no longer a balanced defense and a balanced offense, and the defense can, prepare for that and plan for that.
Yeah, that's what led me to that first part of that other question was, how do I get to what I want to do in a way that they don't know how you're getting there?
It's just a constant chess match back and forth, and that was the case like this year against North Hunterdon. It was we did well defensively the first quarter, and then they made an adjustment. So we have to make an adjustment mid-game, and we did. And again, they moved the ball a little bit, but then we settled down. And then they made another adjustment, and then we had to make another adjustment. And it's just constantly back and forth. And that's part of the reason I enjoy it. But it's not easy.
Yeah, and I think the cliche that's overused is the halftime adjustment. There are halftime adjustments, but if you wait till halftime, you're screwed.
Yeah.
It's really like serious to serious. Sometimes I would assume play-to-play adjustment.
Yeah, I think too that's an advantage that some of these teams, have. We are a Group 4 school, so our numbers aren't terrible. It's not like we're a Group 1 school working with like 20 kids on the team, but some of the teams we do play, you look across the sideline and they have more kids over there, and that makes it tough when I'm trying to make in-game adjustments, but every single player that I need to talk to is out on the offense right now,
Right.
when I'm trying to make my adjustments when the defense is off the field. So it's like you want to make adjustments in game. Occasionally you can, but if those guys are on the field, you're not getting an opportunity to do that. And then, like you said, if you wait until halftime, sometimes it's too late, so that makes it tough too.
Last one from me. This change of quarterback allowed Alex Benitez to come back to your side of the ball as well. And inserting him at outside linebacker has made an absolute world of difference in terms of just what you guys have been able to do. And quite honestly, just his sheer making ability is pretty fantastic. Just talk about Alex and what he means to you guys defensively, and probably wishing we tried him out at outside linebacker a little sooner.
Yeah. We always joke like Alex is like the old, Bugs Bunny cartoon. He throws the ball to himself, he runs, he catches it, he does it all. We had him playing inside linebacker a little bit last year, and that's the tough part about sometimes with camp and summer practice. You only have so much time. You have summer practice, but if the pads aren't on, it means nothing to a point. Guys look amazing on the field in the summer, but no pads. You put those pads on, you start playing physical football. It separates people. And then you get into camp and the pads are on. And before that first game starts that's when you got to do your evaluation. And you have about 2 weeks, 3 weeks to do the evaluation. And you got to get guys in the right spot. And I think last year with the COVID shortened season, we didn't necessarily have Alex in the right spot on the inside. But again, when you have preseason scrimmages and things like that to move guys around, see where guys work, you can get guys into the right spot. Last year we didn't have that. This year we didn't have it with Alex because he had to be the quarterback to start the season. He was the guy, and it's tough to have the starting quarterback play defense. One, you don't want him to get hurt, and two, we talked about those adjustments. If he's playing defense, it's hard for the OC and he's the one guy that you really need to talk to make sure you're making those adjustments on the sideline. So once I got Alex onto the defensive side of the ball, it made all the difference in the world. I've been spoiled the last couple of years between having Weber Carsey playing outside. The field side outside linebacker is such an important position in our defense. I also had Danny Boyer playing there last year, another tremendous athlete. So I got definitely spoiled with having those two guys out there. They were tremendous athletes, but they were also so coachable, and they ate up film, and they were always ready to play. And once I got Alex out there, it's been the same thing, and it's made all the difference in the world. Not only having his athleticism out there, but also his leadership. He leads with his play. He's a vocal kid, but he's not the most vocal. He just goes out there and does the right thing, and he does it better than everyone else. And that's the type of leader that leads with his play on the field. And you can't ask for anything more. Alex is just he's been a blessing to have as a coach, and he's just a tremendous kid, and it's probably the best football player I've ever coached in my years coaching football. All around, he can do it all, and he's a special kid.
High praise from the defensive coordinator. Well, Coach, first off, thank you for taking the time out of the day. It's probably been we waited too long to have you on, and we're gonna make sure we get you on a little bit more regularly.
Yeah,
so
I love that.
Appreciate it. Good luck
Thank you.
tonight against Northern Highlands, and I would love to say that we do this again next week.
Hopefully, that's the plan. We're going to do everything we can to make that happen.
As the defensive coordinator of the Montgomery Cougars, Brian Santinello. Stay with us. We're going to have kickoff coming up in just a couple of minutes. Montgomery against Northern Highlands in the NJSIAA Group 4 North playoffs. We'll be right back. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience.
Linden 3, Montgomery nothing, I think. Unless they change it. This game ends 3-0 Linden. Woodbridge has defeated Montgomery in the home opener, 33-0. So what was a pretty competitive game for about 2.5 quarters has turned into a victory for Colonia.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah, we had felt that at 0-4, we kind of, we thought we were out of the playoffs, and it was time to make a change. And
Schmelzer going up top. He's got a man there, and it is caught complete inside the 10 to the 5, and that's a touchdown. Mike Schmelzer to Liam McManus. How about that? 55 yards for the Cougar touchdown. It's going to be shotgun for Benitez. It is going to be Alex. He's going to keep it, and he's going to roll into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars.
Yeah.
Cougs tick one off in the win column for the first time this season. Schmelzer's going to go under center, and they go with the power I. And the give is to the deep back. And it's Gadetti who squeaks through, and he's got a first down. You get a look on 3rd and 15. Schmelzer all the way up the right sideline of Mark Jenkins, who just ran his way under that lofting football, and into the end zone he went. Schmelzer is going to look for the end zone. He throws. Benitez, does he hold on? Yes! Touchdown, Alex Benitez. Hey, you're right. You bring Benitez in a quarterback and you run. Alex is looking for room up the right side. Still on his feet. Churning into the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars.
How demoralizing is that? You meet him in the backfield and he just drags you into the end zone.
There's Schmelzer. I lied. Out to his left. Looking. Squares his shoulders. Throws. Caught. Back in the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. Fisher again will throw, loads up, but Benitez this time has it. Benitez has the pick going up the left side. He's got blockers. Is anybody going to catch him? No! Touchdown, Alex Benitez. Here's another interception. Up the left side again. Can we go for 2 in a row? Still on his feet. Still going. Into the end zone. Benitez.
Oh, man.
One more time. Alex Benitez. Back-to-back drives have ended with a pick 6.
Wow.
Final 10 will tick away in Skillman. Second win in a row, boys, and I got to tell you, in impressive fashion. Schmelzer will roll to his right. Still looking, throwing for the end zone. Looking for Jenkins. He dives. Does he get it? Does he get it? He does. Touchdown.
Oh, my goodness.
My goodness.
What, what a great catch, man.
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the MIRE, and we are ready for high school football. Pogue, that was a fantastic job on that video. As fortunate things already happening for the Cougs. The opening kickoff out of bounds. Montgomery won the toss and elected to receive. So an out of bounds kickoff puts the ball at the 40-yard line, and that's a Or the 35, I should say. That's a fantastic place to start.
I mean, that's about as good as you can hope for. Give your offense a little bit of room. There's no concern about, are we pinned deep? What playbook is limited?
Montgomery in the road whites, all white today for the Cougs, all black. It's like Thursday night football in the NFL, to be brutally honest with you. Mike Schmelzer, the sophomore quarterback, sends a man in motion. That's Eddie Kahn, and he'll give to Alex Benitez on the first play, and Benitez shrugs off the first man about 5 yards in the backfield and gets, close to the line of scrimmage, but he'll end up losing a yard.
I mean, that's kind of classic Benitez, though, working hard, making somebody else work even harder to actually make the tackle.
Alex, this week, they did a little student panel, and at the end of the student panel, he was just like, listen, I have something else I want to say. Make sure you watch the MIRE on Friday night. I said, buddy, the check's in the mail for that one.
No one will believe that we didn't tell him to do that.
I know, it's so bad. Schmelzer's going to throw, and he's got a completion, and out to the 39-yard line. That's McManus.
That's a great stiff arm by McManus, too. I mean, I know it didn't free him all the way to make a run, but still.
I guess I should be more specific. Ethan McManus on that.
There are McManus.
McManus. I'm going with McManus.
I don't know who's right.
Sets up third down and about 7 yards to go. I'll call it 6 because I like where that ball is spotted, but that's just me. So Montgomery, the 8th seed in Group 4 North, looking to pull the upset as Schmelzer will roll and throw. He's got a completion out to midfield. What a catch on the far sideline. Gain of about 11. Wow, that was pretty awesome.
You got to love that the receiver's running all the way out to the sticks, making sure I'm getting that first down and then some.
Let's take you out. I was going to say we'd take another look. This is what the problem when I ask you to do too many things, Pogue, is that you're typically ready with these replays, and now you got to talk and think.
See, the players are already ready. I can't do it. See,
right.
That's not my fault.
New set of downs for the Cougs as they go two backs. They'll hand it inside again and still on his feet. Man, Benitez, boy, you just heard Brian Santinello talk about him being the best football player he's ever coached.
Wow.
How about that? He said, and just for everybody that doesn't know, Santa was football coach at Immaculata. He coached a lot of good players through the years, and, legit.
Yeah, I mean, to get that kind of a compliment, because believe me, Santa is a great guy, but he's not giving out compliments like that for no reason.
Second down and about 8 to go, and it'll be Benitez again looking for room off the left side, and he's got another 2 yards. So third down and makeable for the Cougs inside Northern Highlands territory.
I mean, you got to love the steady diet of Benitez. He's getting the ball, he's getting his touches, a little bit of rhythm. I mean, and even if it's not big runs, the fact that, no negative plays is huge.
Cougs are in and out of the huddle pretty quickly here. And that's pretty typical all season long. You see our boy Brandon Furious, he'll give Schmelzer the shotgun snap, and he throws out to the right. That's complete. Another first down, and that's his favorite target, Mark Jenkins, to the 38-yard line. So Schmelzer so far looking pretty impressive. Let's take another look at it here as you see him. First he rolled to his left, now he'll roll to his right, and Jenkins on the reception. Man, how good has Jenkins been this year? And it's not really, I shouldn't say that. I guess it kind of is somewhat of an indictment against Benitez's passing ability, because you really saw him come to life when Schmelzer became the quarterback. But, I mean, Alex isn't a quarterback.
Yeah, can it be an indictment if you were asked to do something you've never really done and then just do it varsity level?
No, a little trick play as they go off of a modified muddle huddle out to the right, and that's complete and down to the 30-yard line, near to a first down. Let's look at this again. Look at where everybody's lined up. You see Schmelzer all the way out here on the hash, and the snap comes from outside the numbers, and that's just Sean Carty being creative, and I love it. I love it.
I mean, we talked about misdirection being an important part, and that certainly is it.
Jenkins is going to go in motion. He's going to get it on the jet sweep, and Mark will put his foot in the ground, tries to get upfield, and he's going to end up losing about a half yard on the play.
I mean, even with that play, this drive has been completely 2, 3, 4, 10 yards. I mean, they're moving the ball fantastic. They've got to be feeling good about this drive.
Listen, I love it. I don't think it's a secret about how much I've talked about what I think motion and deception brings to a game, from an offensive team. As Jenkins will go back in motion. Now he circles back around. It's Benitez on the direct snap. Alex, he's got another first down, and he'll move the sticks inside the 27-yard line down to the 26.
I gotta just watching Benitez run the ball is something that I wish we could do for 10 more years, because the way he's downhill immediately every single time.
This is Sean Carty. This is a clinic of what Sean Carty brings to this team as the offensive coordinator. Now, the question is going to be whether this can continue all game long. I don't really know. We'll find out. But in any event, Schmelzer is going to throw out to the left, and that's the first negative of the game. Benitez tried to get started before he had the ball in his hands, and an incompletion.
I'm going to give him a pass. Think everybody else is going to agree there?
Nope. Listen, I hold him to a very high standard. Okay? I don't want any negative plays whatsoever. So
Alex, I'm letting it go.
Second down and 10 coming for the Cougs. How's our crowd noise situation? Is that a thing? Do we have that?
There is some.
There is?
Whether it's too much or not is to be determined.
Well, no, I just didn't know if it was any. As it'll be Benitez again. He hits a wall, but pushes the wall forward again.
That's
for 3 yards.
I mean, it honestly is a mentality thing, because most people that get hit in the backfield or anywhere near to it, it's kind of like, all right, I got hit. He's like, no. It's like, I have to work harder to get 3 yards out of this.
No doubt about it. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Cougs. And you got to think this is 4-down territory.
Oh, where's Timmy when you need him?
Yeah, right?
4-down territory.
So trips to the left for Schmelzer, and he's going to look to throw. He's going to loft it for the end zone. Benitez pushes off. There's a flag. It's caught for a touchdown, and he puts his hands in the air. That's not typical. Let's see what what the flag is for. Typically, if this is an offensive foul, they're going to say they won't put their hands up for the touchdown. Let's see what the call is going to be. I think this might stand. Hold on. Let's wait and see and I hope this camera doesn't pan off of this.
They're lining up for an extra point here.
Let's see what the call is going to be. Hold on. And Montgomery thinks it's standing. Nobody's stopping them. It's holding on the defense. That's going to count. How about Schmelzer having trust in his receiver to just go up and get it? Benitez got away with a little bit of a shove.
No. It's just adjusting his position.
Doesn't matter. It's 6 for the Cougs and the number 8 seeded Cougars. Good snap, good hold, and the kick by Benitez is true. Montgomery 7 and Northern Highlands nothing. Let's look at it again. Schmelzer was going here all the way. What patience. Benitez, you see at the top of the route, he gets up there and comes down with it. How about that?
So we were just saying he gets tossed into roles that he's not, familiar with. So now he's a receiver and he's toe tapping. He's doing everything that, we ask him to. I think we should keep him around.
Unreal. Hold on to your seats here, folks, because with 6:45 to go in the first quarter, Montgomery clearly not intimidated one bit.
I love that start. I mean, when you have to take a drive, it's a little bit of a ways. You know that they're the 1 seed. Sometimes that builds up in your head and you start thinking things that you really shouldn't, but I don't think that bus ride was anything but positivity.
How about that? That was fantastic. You talk about, we talk about all the time about how coordinators and coaches will script their first 15 plays or so or things like that. Very, very clear that Sean Carty had a plan. And remember, Montgomery won the coin toss. So they could have deferred and got the ball in the second half. So now, I'm not telling you I'm smart enough to understand what it was, but for Montgomery to win the toss and take the ball, it's obvious that they saw something during the week that they said, if we execute this the way we want to, we think we can have success. They marched right down the field. No problem whatsoever. Benitez will put a foot on it, and that one, with the help of the penalty on the defensive holding, stands no chance. I'm going to give you a little bit of officiating insight here. The defensive holding penalty completely influenced the fact that the nearest official had no interest in calling offensive pass interference if offensive pass interference was going to get called. Because, quite frankly, you're focused on the defensive foul, and he's processing it in his head, and he throws the flag for the defensive foul while the potential offensive foul is happening, and you just miss it.
That was a lot of insight.
It was a lot. I'm just telling you, because that's how fast the break. Listen, as the first down running play is only good for about a yard or so. But, I mean, you think about how fast your brain can process a whole mess of information, right?
Yeah, moving to two different players to two different parts of the body that they're grabbing or reaching for. Yeah, that's difficult.
It is what it is. Here's a first down or second down throw, and that's incomplete, and that is off the hands of Zach Madison, incomplete, and Montgomery almost lucked into an interception there.
I mean, we talked about discipline and being in the right spot. I mean, these plays, they're set up well. I mean, we didn't get the interception, but at the same time, there's hands, there's bodies around where the ball's going.
So this is a big third down for Northern Highlands, because I think the last thing you want to do is go 3 and out here. Montgomery's going to send pressure up the middle. Oh, they escape. Out the right side. Benitez is the only man there. Can he make the stop? No. What a fantastic run by Enzo Arjona. And you know what? You saw good on good there, and Benitez unable to knock him out, but I don't really hate that either.
No, I mean, you forced him to make a really excellent play. I mean, at the same time, as soon as he sees the pressure, he's stepping up and he's trying to get away.
Oh, look at the discipline Arjona has, and right there, just able to slip inside as Arjona's going to have it on the keeper here. Benitez, a good job to keep contained and hold that for only a gain of about 5 to the 35.
I mean, they're forced to think, which is, it's tough when you're trying to figure out the scheme and what the motion means. But when the quarterback makes a play like that, there's not a ton you can do.
Tempo coming here from Northern Highlands as Arjona will throw out to the left, and that is complete for a first down and a lot more up the left sideline, and still going and on his feet, and he's going to go into the end zone, and that is going to be Zach Madison.
Oh, that is tough. I mean, there was a chance to kind of chop the legs a little bit, but he just broke a tackle. There were a few good blocks on that play downfield, and that's tough.
Watch it again here. You're going to see and I don't know, I'll be interested to watch it to see if it's out on the edge here, if we get tripped up or just blocked. And you know what? It was just wrong-footed and a block. A block came at the inopportune time, and boy, off to the races goes Madison. So the extra point to tie. This is the disadvantage of these huddle cameras as the good spot, good hold, and good kick. So you want to talk about excitement, folks. Feel free to take a breath. We'll take it with you. 5:37 to go, quarter number 1, and we are tied at 7. Don't go anywhere. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back here. We are in the command center in Lawrenceville. Keith Glock and Matt Pogue with you in the mire. And this game taking place all the way up in North Jersey at Northern Highlands. And, Matthew, if you wanted to understand why Northern Highlands is the top seed, you got it there.
Was that it?
That was it.
Oh, athletes making great plays? Okay.
And you got another look at it there as Jenkins absolutely annihilated it about the 19-yard line.
Jeez.
So sobering might be a word to describe what just happened there. I mean, that's
I'm not going to go that far. Maybe bringing us down a touch closer to reality. But, I mean, we had the ideal drive. Regardless of whether a big play gets them 7 points, they were only tying the game. So we have to remember that. They were playing on the back heel on that drive. So if we have a good drive here, maybe put up some more points, at least move the ball, run some clock, that's still a positive.
So let's see what Montgomery comes up with on its second drive, as they will send everybody out to the right side this time. And Schmelzer is going to give on the inside draw to Benitez, and Alex is going to get about a yard before he gets stacked up. Enzo Arjona, the quarterback for Northern Highlands, headed to Monmouth to play. And, I was talking about Shane Van Dam earlier and, last week for Cranford. Do you know he has no big-time Division I offers? Zero. He has 0 big-time Division I offers. There's obviously nobody of any consequence listening to this broadcast. But if you are, you need to go back and watch Cranford tape because that kid is a baller.
Yeah, I do not understand that.
It's unreal. I can tell you why. As Schmelzer on second down is going to load up and throw in the middle. Picked off. It's off the hands of Eddie Kahn and intercepted by Northern Highlands inside the 10-yard line. It's going to set up a goal-to-go situation for the Highlanders, and that is just unfortunate. Yeah. Let's look at it again here. A good throw, the right read, and you see it here as it just goes right through the hands of Eddie Kahn and Johnny on the spot for Northern Highlands. So, look, if there was one thing you couldn't afford to do, it's turn the ball over in places like this, right?
Turnovers, they'll hurt you, but turnovers where you get red zone offense, they'll kill you.
Ay. So let's see what Arjona has going on for Northern Highlands as he'll keep it and throw out to the right, and that's going to be caught for a touchdown. And it looked like maybe Nick Branca out there. Couldn't tell whether it was Kyle Major or Nick Branca. But either way, it's a 9-yard touchdown for the Highlanders, and they didn't waste any time.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect when you get the ball in great field position like that? I understand the defense. That's a tall ask to be able to, come in and stop this offense, but, they tried on that one.
Getting set for the extra point as Benitez is off the end, and he blocks it, but I have to think he might have been a bit early. And the Northern Highlands, look at how far the Northern Highlands coaching staff is on the field. They're going to say they are upset. So no flag. How about that? Okay, so I'm going to completely reissue my expectations.
No. Benitez timed it perfectly.
Clearly.
Timed it perfectly.
Clearly. He almost caught the ball and went the other way.
See, he's got good hearing. He heard the snap count in their huddle. That's all that was.
How about that? But you know what? Do you still have that replay up, Poke? Can we take another look at that touchdown before you get that rolling? Watch the misdirection here. The running back's going to come from the quarterback's right as if it's a running play to the left, and then the misdirection comes all the way back out to the right side, and that's where the touchdown's going to happen. Misdirection to the left, throw back to the right. That's what Northern Highlands brings to this ball game, and that is just really, really hard to defend when you execute it on a level like they can.
I mean, you have to take a guess at a certain point sometimes as a DB, which is tough because, you don't know is the receiver running the dummy route or not. So, I mean, there's something to get used to, but at the same time, they're gonna watch that one and figure out what was going on.
Just to finish that story about Shane Van Dam from last weekend, the Cranford quarterback, he starter because the guy behind him was real good. So college coaches are like, well, you haven't played enough. Well, what does that have to do with the price of apples? As Jenkins from the 15-yard line, and he's going to bring it out to about the 30 or so. He's still on his feet and churning, so they'll mark him down at the 31, and there's an injured Cougar on the play. But, I mean, the fact that coaches would say, well, you haven't played enough. Like, listen, I'm sorry. Just open your eyes and watch the kid.
Like, I mean, have you seen practice?
Well, no, even that. Just watch him. Just watch him throw the ball a little, and run the ball. That's going to be an extraordinary miss if nobody signs that kid to play. And Zoran Milic said, I think he's probably like an FCS kid. And I said, look, I'm clearly not a Shane Van Dam expert. You know what I mean? What do I see? I saw the kid play once, but when you watch him play comparative to all the other kids you see play, like, holy cow.
Yeah, it's worth the look.
And it's not like there's other things you're compromising on with that kid. He's 6'4". Okay, he's got a cannon
and still growing,
and he runs like it's not. They're like, well, you don't run enough. Well, what do you want him to do? You want him to call the plays and do the other? Like,
yeah, somebody
that's
needs their back porch painted. Why isn't he doing it? That's a problem.
It's bananas. So I mean, whatever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. We're talking about a kid from Cranford. Like, it's not the Cranford internet radio experience, but Ugh.
Yeah, what name would we even use? That would not work.
Well, let's talk about that. Actually, we're kind of stuck with this name because it's what I thought of back in 2011 when it
Yep.
was only radio.
Yep.
So if you're wondering why we're still the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience, I mean, it's mostly because I'm an idiot.
I'm pretty sure if you said internet radio to 100 people, there would be 97 that said, what?
Right. What is that? Is that a
Yeah.
thing?
But that's good. We only have 3 viewers, so that works out pretty good
Right.
for us then.
Right. We really need to get to 1,000 people, folks, because I got to tell you out there, if you have friends, get them to subscribe because I need to start making some money on this deal.
Turn
Okay.
off notifications, subscribe. You don't have to see it. You're just subscribed. It's
That's
like
it.
we're not there. We're not going
Turn-
to bother you.
Turn notifications off.
Yeah, no
It's
spam.
fine.
No spam.
It's fine. And now I got to tell you, here's how I know we're getting more popular, okay?
This will be good.
Montgomery assistant basketball coach Joe Bassford is sitting next to me right now, live. He's like, I want to come watch the MIRE live. I don't even want to watch the MIRE on my television because that's not good enough. So he doesn't want to be on camera tonight, which I respect, okay? Totally respect it. But when we are broadcasting live in front of a studio audience tonight. Joe Bassford and my dog, okay, are watching this happen.
Yeah, and there's no one to verify any of this because they can't see, so it's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Totally. First down for Montgomery is Schmelzer is going to roll to his left, and he's going to end up getting sacked back inside the 20-yard line. And you know what? That's where I hate the high school rule right there because it was very clear Schmelzer had a read. It wasn't there. And now he continues to roll outside the pocket, so you may be asking yourself logically, well, why wouldn't you just throw it away?
Not allowed to.
Can't throw it away in high school. If he throws it away, it's intentional grounding regardless of whatever happens.
I don't understand that, especially if you're looking at the tackle box or something. Why? You know, what's the advantage that you're getting from doing that?
Looked like Jalen McDaniel was the injured Cougar, and that's a big loss defensively. So second down and long as Schmelzer is under pressure right away, and he's going to get brought down again back at the 10. And I actually think that's a pretty judicious decision by the sophomore.
I mean, he pump faked, and I'm glad to see that he didn't force it. It wasn't there, and he's also looking above, 4 or 5 different linemen to try and figure out if the throw's there.
This is that whole Kansas City Chiefs defensive philosophy. Just get a negative play, get one negative play on the drive, and then it doesn't matter if we're kind of crappy the entire rest of the drive because we won't let you convert third down and 22, right? And that's what Montgomery faces now as we're under 3 minutes to go first quarter. And Schmelzer, he's going to load up and throw up the seam. Oh, and nearly a catch, but incomplete, I should say. And listen, as close as that was, we still would have been about 8 yards short of the first down.
It would have been a nice catch that we also would have said great catch, and then we jogged off. But still, good throw, though. Good throw.
Listen, I am the absolute victim of getting super excited when balls go up the seam because it just brings me back to the Chris Chugginoff years, of him just throwing to Tyler Young as Benitez will get off a booming punt. And it's going to be caught at the 49, and they make the first man miss. Great job of discipline and a really nice return, and that looked like it was Charlie Sparago on the return for Northern Highlands, putting them in good position down to the 35. But that, in the 2014 season, back when I will call it the halcyon days of Montgomery football, now that Chris Chugginoff and Jabari Clemens and Tyler Young, there was just a lot of balls up the middle of the field for those guys. So here's the first running play of the evening, and you get a fantastic look at just how good Nick Branca is as he lowers the shoulder and rolls inside the 25. Let's look at it again. Guys have to make business decisions all over the field on this one, and that's tough. Here's a second down throw out to the left, and caught complete again. Another chunk play, and that's Kyle Major, the team's leading receiver. And they're set up again, first down and just near goal to go as they go again with tempo.
And when they're moving the ball like this, the tempo is that's a scary thing.
Branca off the right side with a lot of room, and they are able to collapse on him, but not until he gets inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line.
Yeah, the motion is starting to play a role because there's a lot of movement. They're no huddle. They're immediately at the line. This is tough on a defense.
Here they go again. Branca searching for the goal line, and he is going to be into the end zone. And another touchdown for Northern Highlands. You're getting a look at just why the Highlanders are the top seed in North Jersey Group 4.
There's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of execution that's happening.
Look at it again as Branca just searches for the goal line, and the official finally signals there for the touchdown.
A lot of patience on that run.
And we're going to get a flag, and I don't know if that's going to be encroachment. Yes, it is. They're going to say Benitez forced the movement on the offensive line.
I don't know if I believe that.
Highlanders now are going to go for 2 because that ball gets moved half the distance. And you know what? I mean, who could blame them? You need to go 1.5 yards after what you just did.
I mean, get the points. If the points are there, get the points.
And this one's going to be a quarterback keeper as Enzo Arjona will walk into the end zone. And don't worry about that blocked extra point because just like that, Northern Highlands is on top 21-7.
All right, so a little bit of work to do.
Little work to do. We'll do our work and take a break. We'll be back right after this. You're caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Mire. Keith Glock and Matt Pogue with you live from the Command Center in Lawrenceville as we are broadcasting this one remotely. And another kick that's going to be fielded at about the 10-yard line. And they're going to throw back across the field. Here's some special teams trickeration, a good block. Oh, and I hate this call. I hate it. I hate it with all of my being because I'm telling you right now, this is not a block in the back. Can you replay this, Pogue? I don't know if you have enough juice on there to get to this. After we see this, they're going to call a block in the back. Watch it again. Watch the right side of your screen. This is not a block in the back.
No.
He's on his hip. That is, I say, you know how I get with officiating because everybody understands. When you get pushed in the back, one hand on your shoulder blade and one hand on the kid's bicep isn't in the back.
You usually fall on your stomach, not your side.
I don't know. I don't care where you fall. You fall wherever you want. Where did you get pushed? No. Is it fell on his face for 10 yards? No, it's pushing the back for 10 yards. Here's a give to Benitez, and he's going to be stacked up near the line of scrimmage. Honestly, I swear to God, one arm on the bicep and other arm on the shoulder blade is not in the back. Do you know where the back is? It's between your shoulder blades. I'm sorry. You're not going to get me to convinced on this argument. And in a game like this is the playoffs. That's a high-level call you can't make. And I got angry at Darren Wallace yesterday for criticizing the officials. Go figure.
No, you're critiquing, not criticizing.
Well,
that's the difference, apparently.
That actually is a fairly good insight out of you, Pogue. Second down run for Benitez is going to get about half a yard.
I got to stop enabling you. That's not a good thing.
Oh, my gosh. If you can't tell, I get passionate about that kind of crap.
No, he was actually sitting still very quietly doing that.
Oh, my
Not
gosh.
animated at all.
I don't know. And you know where I think that's born from? It's born from the desire to do a good job and not be an effect on the game.
Yeah, to see and call what you thought you called, when in reality, I don't know.
I'm sorry. You can't look at that and go, well, yeah, he's on his hip. Well, that's a spot where I would usually call a block in the back. No, that's bananas. Okay? I'm sorry. You don't do it. Third down run, and that's an interesting set of play call. For as aggressive
Yeah.
as they were on the first drive,
Yeah.
the exact opposite is true of that. And I guess they just wanted to get down to the end of the first quarter as the final 10 seconds are going to tick off here. A blistering start for the Cougs. Ooh, I would actually snap it. They had too many
they're
guys
not
on
ready.
the field.
Yeah.
But in any event, no, they'll let it run down. End of the first quarter, we've played 12 up at Northern Highlands, and you're getting a good look at just how fantastic this Highlander team is. 21-7 Northern Highlands. We'll be right back. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Mire. Keith Glock and Matt Pogue. Live from Lawrenceville as Northern Highlands is a first down at the 40-yard line of Montgomery. And here is a give off the right side, and Benitez in the backfield as they slip away for a second, but then Nick Branca is wrapped up.
I mean, that just goes to show you, even Benitez being in the backfield that early still made him work.
Running to the football. Now, so Sunday, for the people that, are NFL fans, NFL Sunday Ticket, hosted by Andrew Siciliano, correct? Am I right in saying that? As a pass down the field for Northern Highlands incomplete. He has a thing that he is very proud of, that he says, I've never, in the last 4 years, I think it was 4, if I'm remembering the podcast correctly, he doesn't use the bathroom during the entire broadcast. And that's like the ones, the fours, like they just get through the whole broadcast without him leaving to go to the bathroom. As you can see, a lot of motion there by the defense, and they're going to get offside on Montgomery on 3rd down and 12. All right, let's just say the Mire is not Andrew Siciliano, because we went to break and Pogue sprinted to the bathroom on the first floor. I sprinted to the bathroom on the second floor. We're well hydrated in Lawrenceville.
I heard that you're not supposed to hold it. I heard that
Right,
that's
that's the
actually
thing.
bad for you. So that's for my health. I need to.
That's a My Cousin Vinny thing. You should.
I love that movie. I've actually seen
Right?
that one. I have seen that
It's
one.
the first movie you've seen. Pressure again coming, and I would love to be able to tell you that I knew what happened as Arjano throws to the end zone, and I think that one's going to short hop into the receiver.
Even still, that's a cannon to be rolling and still get that much power on that.
Good job by Montgomery, and a better job by Arjano to just get that ball away.
I mean, the pressure's still good to see, but I mean, it's just giving you a little bit of a show of why they've won so many games, because they make people work and they don't go down easy even when you think we've got them in the backfield.
This is and could be a hinge point in this game. 4th down and 7 for Northern Highlands. They go trips to the left, And Montgomery brings the pressure. The throw up the seam, incomplete, and Montgomery's going to take over on downs. If they hit that one, he's still running, and it's a touchdown. But Montgomery's going to get the ball back. And, Matt, you think about the difference between Northern Highlands going up 28-7 on a play like that, and now maybe, hopefully, possibly, Montgomery being able to pull within a score. That's a huge difference in this ball game.
It's two completely different games. I mean, to be looking at the scoreboard and thinking, wow, we need 3 scores to get close is completely different than if we get a score here, this is a 1-score game. So, yeah, absolutely completely different. They needed that.
And you feel like, too, the reason why the score is even this disparate at this point is because of the turnover that we had. So if we're able to limit our mistakes going forward, we can really hang in this game. So first down for the Cougs, and I would love to tell you what happened, but I have no stinking idea. As maybe I can find out after the fact, and it looks like it was a run to Benitez for about a yard. Automated video is fantastic in concept. And I'm just going to tell you right now, I hope to God that automated cars do better than automated cameras. Because if they don't, we're in big trouble.
Ooh, that's a low bar. That's
right?
Dangerous.
But, I mean, it's just saying. Not saying. Just saying. Second down for Schmelzer as he'll roll and throw. And that one's a little too tall as he was looking for McManus out past the 50-yard line.
Even on that play, though, as much as that was an incomplete pass, check out the block.
What a pancake on the left side of that line. That's pretty fantastic. But it'll bring up third down and 8 for the Cougs. And, we talked about that first drive about, Cardi being able to pull out a bunch of stuff that, nobody had seen just yet. There's only a finite amount of that stuff. As Schmelzer again will throw, caught complete, but short of the first down out to the 45-yard line. And now Zoran Milic has a decision to make.
Yep.
And it looks like he's sending in the putt team.
I don't know if I disagree with that. I mean, they clearly have the ability to score. The last thing you want is to give them the ball on your half of the field.
And if this is a fake, again, it's the time. It feels like a very obvious time to call a fake. So let's see what they do here. They do snap it back to Benitez, and it looks like it's a genuine punt as it's going to be fielded at the 25-yard line and breaking a few tackles out to about the 29.
They need to stop, and they need to stop quick, because this is one of those times where if Northern Highlands gets rolling even just a little bit and can kind of take some time off the clock, you go into halftime looking around going, what's going on?
I guess I look at this kind of like the baseball analogy that's pretty relevant considering the Braves just won the World Series. I'll get to that in a second as you see first down here. Again, misdirection off the left side and a good job by Branca. Bobby Cox was the manager of the Atlanta Braves forever. And they made the postseason like 15 straight years and only won one World Series because he was unwilling to change the way he managed in the postseason. As another handoff goes to Branca, and he'll carry guys for a first down out to the 45. And Cox would, you leave the starter in because that's what you do. And, they got us here. And this. Now, you watch the postseason this year in baseball, and you see guys coming out after 2 innings because there's just not enough time to recover from a bad start. The games are just too important as another carry again out to the 49-yard line. I think conventional wisdom tells you, as that was Branca again for 4, that you punt there, right? That's what conventional wisdom tells you. This is the playoffs. I think you got to alter the playbook as Arjano tries to go up the seam, and he's incomplete.
Yeah, when your back is against the wall, it changes things a little bit.
Well, this is it, right? It doesn't matter. You're down 14 right now. Is Northern Highlands going to stop being good on offense? No. You're going to need to score points to win this game. Whether this game ends 72-7 or 48-35, Like, you have to score. You might have to buck conventional wisdom and say, if we're going to win this game, we got to take some risks we might not otherwise take.
So it's like you're saying it's the last game of the season, can't hold anything back.
All right, Brent. That's well done.
I was waiting.
Whoa, that's actually the second movie reference you made. For those of you who don't know,
Yeah.
Matt Polk doesn't watch movies.
Not the ones you've seen, apparently.
Well, the ones that everyone else in America has seen?
Royal you. Like royal.
Yeah, no, all
everybody.
the rest of us in
Everybody.
America have seen.
Yeah. I've seen some good ones, though.
Good Waterboy reference out of you.
I know.
Good Waterboy
It was on TV very recently, so
Oh.
reason.
Probably on, like, TNT.
It was on TNT with commercials. Still watched it. Still watched it.
3rd down and 6. Arjano looking on the corner route and incomplete as they were looking for a flag. They're not going to get it. So it'll bring up 4th down, and it looks like Northern Highlands is going to punt.
Good. We needed that. I mean, even on that pass, not a ton of contact. That seemed like it might have just been a drop. But I mean, if I had a drop, I would absolutely look for the flag too, though. That's natural
Yep.
instinct.
Good throw by Arjano on that play, but just unable to connect.
Enzo's got a great throwing motion.
Yes, indeed. Here's a fake, and they end up completing it out to the right side, and that is going to be Austin Colaraco.
I mean, we mentioned an obvious time for a fake before. This certainly was not that.
No, it was not, and Northern Highlands, they are content to put their foot down. And you know why I think that's even a better call is because if they end up moving on, they just put something on film now that everybody else has to watch out for.
Yep. They're capable of it and executing it.
New set of downs for the Highlanders. Branca off the left side, and he's 9 or 10 yards downfield before he even gets touched. Another 1st down to the 17-yard line. Call that a gain of 12, and the Highlanders again in business.
Yeah, as a safety, you never want to be looking at the lineman going, why am I the first person doing anything? That's not a good feeling.
Arjano's going to keep this one up the middle as he squirts through, and he's going to get into the end zone, and that is going to be a touchdown. A 13-yard scamper from Enzo Arjano, and Northern Highlands has pretty much put an exclamation point on this drive. Wow, look at it again. You see him here. He puts his foot in the ground, and right there able to scoot through a couple of Montgomery would-be tacklers. And, boy, for as positive as a start as Montgomery had, 7:46 to go as the kick, that one is no good to the left. So, oh boy, sobering last 10, 12 minutes for the Cougs.
Yeah, I think ignoring the 1 seed thing like you're supposed to going into any game is necessary, but I think we're finding out right now. Okay.
And you know what? We mentioned this last week, too, because Cranford did a little bit of it, but you certainly see the difference even from Cranford to Northern Highlands in terms of pace. You have guys who are clearly very talented, and then you add this pace of play into it, and they're faster than Cranford in terms of their play-to-play execution.
Yeah, they're on the ball in 3, 4, 5 seconds sometimes. You're making a tackle, getting up, and realizing I have to find who I'm guarding. That's tough.
Chip Kelly at Oregon, really made that popular in the college game, and it never translated as well as, I shouldn't say it didn't translate. It didn't stick. It translated well early, and then, like everything else in the NFL, you do something, and then everybody has an offseason to watch it and catch up, and they figure out how to combat it. And, Chip never had the success that he did in his first year with Philadelphia later on. But here's another returnable kick for Montgomery, but well covered by Northern Highlands.
So on this drive, you can't start, chucking and heaving downfield. It's too early to start doing that. So what are you starting with?
I don't know that that's ever the plan. I think you can't score 20 points in a drive. You got to just do what you think is going to be successful and drive the ball down the field. They don't have the playmakers on the outside to continuously, run tempo or down the field the way Northern Highlands does.
Right.
So, it's going to be more methodical. It just is. Motion man out to the left as Schmelzer. They tried to set up a screen. Oh, and is that going to be intercepted? I think it's dropped. That guy better not put his hands up. No, good job by the umpire to come in and say no. And you know what? The line judge was screened off by the bodies on the play, so I could see why he maybe thought that was intercepted, because it was for a second. Let's take another look at it, and if maybe even if we'll look at it again here. As you see, they were looking for the screen, and you see it there, and it hits the ground at the last second. Maybe we can even zoom in on that, and take another look at it again. But regardless, Montgomery's going to live to survive another play as Schmelzer will roll to the left this time, and he throws, and that's incomplete and through the hands of Enzo Sperano. That would have been enough for a first down.
I mean, that's tough, especially when you finally get something moving in positive direction. You get out of your break, you're open, and things just don't go well.
So Mike Schmelzer and the Cougar offense backed up. 3rd down and 10 coming for the Highlanders. It'll be trips left for the Cougs as they put Benitez out into the slot. And they're going to look to throw it to him, and they get it to him. And Alex tries to make something happen, and he is hit from behind and dropped, and that's only a gain of about 2 yards. That's a play that, as Schmelzer gets older, he's going to get the ball to Benitez much sooner.
Yeah. Give him a chance to actually make the move versus I caught it, but now 3 people are already on me.
As soon as Schmelzer started to roll to his left on that play, the ball needed to be out of his hands. And let's see what Northern has dialed up here in terms of pressure. You saw a little trickeration up front. And Benitez gets away. Another sky-high kick, and this one's going to take a Montgomery bounce, but fielded at the 35-yard line. And how about that for a block in the back? They get a flag coming from all the way on the far side of the field. And that one's going to come back. So we'll see what the call is, but I suspect that one's going to be a block in the back. It is. So it'll be 10 yards from that spot. So that'll back Northern Highlands all the way up to right about where they fielded the punt at the 35. You can get another look at it as you see it coming here. And that's what I was talking about earlier. When you get nudged in the rear end.
Oh, that's the back?
That's the back,
That's
folks.
the back.
That one was easy. 6:34 to go in the first half, and Montgomery, after jumping out to a 7-0 lead, it's been all Northern Highlands as they've rattled off 27 in a row. Here's a little pitch out to the right for Branca, and a good job by Benitez to fight that off, and yet Branca's able to gain about 5 yards.
Yeah, he's falling forward 2-3 yards, even if that contact's coming.
You see the tight end, Jack Murray, a little hobbled there. And that's another thing about football. It does, like, Jack Murray's hurt, and no one cares.
Yep, next play. Next play.
Here's the throw, and I'd love to tell you whether it's complete. Looks like it is. And looked like Ian Langan there to make the reception for Northern Highlands at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, already set, already ready to move again. I mean, that's difficult to deal with.
No doubt about it. Play action as they'll roll to the left and throw into the middle of the field, and they're going to get a very late flag. And this one might be unsportsmanlike conduct. Watch to see. They're going to say it's going to be on Northern Highlands. I'll tell you right now. We'll see. Ineligible man downfield is what they're going to call. The way the flag was thrown and how late it came led me to believe that maybe the head coach of Northern Highlands was upset about something. Because typically in football they throw the flag at the play. So I don't know if you can even see it here on the. I don't know who's illegally downfield. That's ticky tack. That's a ticky tack call. So it is what it is. I'll take it. Again, this is the MIRE. So we're all Monty here, folks. Hate to break it to you if you don't already know. They're looking for it all, and they have a man, a caught, complete, touchdown, Northern Highlands. How about that? Doesn't matter. They say back us up, and we're going for 6.
Yeah, that's just more room to play with, apparently.
Holy cow. What an absolute dime. Take another look at it. It's going to be 54 yards on the touchdown. Enzo Arjona, you get a good look there at why he is a Division I football player, folks.
Wow, that's a great throw. I mean, the route's good. Get behind the defense is tough, but to lay it in the chest like that is something else.
Northern Highlands looking to go on top as they're going to go for 2 after the missed extra point on the last drive. And I could have called this one, baby. Timeout Montgomery. But we lead the league in special teams PAT timeouts.
But we're always ready on special teams,
I'm
too,
telling
though. Always ready.
I'm going to give Coach Bassford this would be like a mid-third quarter, down by 9 timeout in the middle of somebody else shooting free throws. That's it. Extend the game.
We're getting in their head. We're getting in their head.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh. We should put. I gotta find a headset for Basford on this one because we'll do that. It's for everybody, so we don't have to subject everybody to hit Joe Basford in the background. We'll throw a headset on Bass at the half, and he'll join us for the second half on this one. Oh my gosh. Here's Arjano as he's under pressure, throws out to the right, and that's short hopped and incomplete. So the 2-point conversion is no good. Northern Highlands, though, out to a big lead, 33-7 with 33 unanswered in the first half. We'll step away. You're caught in the MIRE. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the MIRE. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Joe Basford on deck as we'll get him hooked up at the half. I'll prep you with this, Coach. I just thought of something, but I'm not going to say now because I need to have your reaction to it immediately when I say it. But, I just came to a realization about Northern Highlands. Here's a squib onside, and Montgomery able to fall on it at the 50-yard line. Man, you talk about taking no prisoners.
Yeah.
All right, so Northern Highlands just scored 33 unanswered and then kicked an onside kick out to midfield.
Whoa.
Holy cow.
Whoa.
Wow.
I mean,
did we do something wrong? I don't understand.
Maybe it's a North Jersey, Central Jersey thing. I don't know.
That was
bizarre. I mean, if 40 at the half was the goal, I guess that makes sense, but, that's an odd goal.
There's stuff I get that you want to put on tape for people, but you might want to hang on to that one.
I mean, it was a good kick too. I mean, it was a pretty good kick.
And it looks like they're walking this back. Are they going to make? Because I think they were offside. Is the answer to this, to why this was happening? Northern Highlands was past the original line of scrimmage when they kick. There was misdirection on the kickoff, I think, and then that guy went over the line of scrimmage. So that's what the flag was.
It wasn't just for being A little over the top, wasn't
No, it possibly could have been.
for doing too much.
Yeah, trying too hard. They officially might be tryhards. We'll see, though. We shall see. So Montgomery's going to make him kick it again. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
You've returned a couple of kickoffs for like 7 yards each.
Yeah, just take the ball.
You know, so I mean the midfield stripe is the demarcation line. Is that one's out of bounds, so it'll be the 35. So, you know,
That's something.
whatever. It is what it is. So this one has gotten moderately out of hand, like as quick as I've seen a football game get out of hand.
So you're saying there's a chance?
That doesn't even make sense. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. You could have held on to that one. You, like Northern Highlands, could have held on to that one for a little later.
Oh, that was good.
Right?
Oh, that was good. Okay.
Just saying.
I did watch that movie recently. Too,
First,
so that's why.
is you trying to prove to me that you watch movies?
I had to watch a lot.
Schmelzer out to the left, incomplete, a little bit too far out ahead of Benitez. I think Schmelzer wanted to make sure he didn't get that one batted down. So rather than throwing over top of the rush end, he just tried to lead Benitez a little bit. Pogue doing his best Tim Bartholomew impersonation and not talking.
Oh, no, I was letting the moment build. I was letting the moment
That
build.
was it. And yes, Tim, that was a shot. That was it. Shots fired, bro. Schmelzer on second down as he pumps and completes it out to the 41-yard line for Jenkins. So a gain of about 6 on second down for the Cougs.
That'll get things moving. I mean, a first down is going to be huge, and just getting the ball moving a little bit, because points before the half is obviously the goal, but that's going to be also one of those morale things of, we got to do something right now.
So big third down coming for the Cougs. Third and about 4. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Montgomery jumped out to a 7-0 lead, and then Northern Highlands basically stepped on the gas as we're going to get a flag and an offside penalty. So we'll take that, as that's going to move the sticks and get Montgomery a new set of downs.
Anything right now, sure.
Yeah, you'll take it. So the Cougs really looking to just keep the defense on the sidelines for a little while. That's as important as anything else, because the pace that Northern is playing with is just fantastical, as that is caught complete out into Northern Highlands territory, and that looked like it was Ethan McManus.
That's a tough catch, too.
Yep.
He took the contact immediately.
That's a horrendous spot.
Ooh.
It's about 2 yards shy of where he actually caught the ball.
Ooh.
So call it 4.
I don't want to, but
No,
I will.
No, you will. You're being forced to. So we're really going to see what Mike Schmelzer's got in this game, as he's going to go for all of it as he throws up the left side, and it's going to be, I guess, caught for a touchdown.
They're excited.
Possibly.
That's a touchdown then.
Touchdown Cougars. How about that on the automated camera? We'll take it. Schmelzer for 6.
See, he outran the camera. Everyone outran the camera.
Mark Jenkins
Man.
behind everybody.
That's speed you can't teach.
Listen, you want to put this one on your resume, Mark Jenkins. I'm faster than technology. That's what I do.
Yeah, motion sensors, no thanks.
As Montgomery's extra point is, I don't know. We'll find out in a second.
It was good.
Listen,
it was good.
the concept of broadcasting remotely is fantastic. What this isn't is Michael Kay and Susan Waldman sitting at Yankee Stadium every day when they're on the road. We don't have the benefit
Wow,
of the cameras.
You're gonna bring Michael Kay to the level of what it could be.
No, that's what the Yankees were doing.
Okay.
No, I'm saying all last season,
Right.
during COVID, Michael Kay and John Sterling and Susan Waldman,
Yep.
they all would broadcast all the games from Yankee Stadium, even when they were on the road.
Right.
But they have the benefit of the good cameras and the technology.
Right. So the technology and the cameras only difference between us and what that is.
Well, yeah,
okay.
duh.
Just clarifying
Like,
for everybody at home.
It would that play the analogous play in the where I was going.
Mhm.
It would be like Don Mattingly hitting a home run in the '95 playoffs, and and the automated cameras watching some kitty popcorn in the fourth row. Like we missed the whole thing.
But was he tossing it up and
It's-
catching it?
I
Like,
know.
how good was the throw?
It was so bad. I listen. I'm sorry, folks, that you didn't get to see that in any event. It was almost like Schmelzer heard me call him out, as apparently that was also some trickeration on the kickoff, but fielded by Northern Highlands.
It's what they needed, though. They needed that.
Right.
That was huge.
So no. Now being serious, I said, wow, we're gonna get a real good look at Schmelzer, and then on cue he throws a dime
Yeah.
down the field for 51 yards to Jenkins.
So arm strength, not a concern. Not a
Zero concern for
concern. Not a
Schmelzer.
concern.
Listen, I'm going to put you in charge of making sure that you match up that audio to the video once we get the coach's tape.
All right, deal.
Here's an inside handoff, and still moving, and another first down, and a great look at the Northern Highlands logo at the midfield line, as it looks like they're tackled down at the 40-yard line. I guess if I had to sum up automated huddle camera technology, I would say, like, huddle cam, better than nothing. Right?
Yeah, like the MIRE,
No,
Better
no,
than
no.
nothing.
I disagree with that.
Is that
You
an
at-
untrue statement,
No,
though?
yes, you at least get to hear our complete idiot rear ends talk on
Right, it's
on this
better.
thing.
It's better than nothing.
I no, I spent too much money to go with that one. I can't go with that. Sorry.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. I could also tell you there's another inevitable truth, as Arjano is going to get tackled at about the 36-yard line. There's somebody who's not sponsoring us, and it's Huddle Cam. Like, we're never getting money from those guys.
No, not yet. Not yet.
That is not happening.
Yeah, we're showing the product improvements that could be a thing in the future.
Here's the third down play coming from Northern Highlands, as I think they're going to throw, and it's going to be incomplete out to the right. So Enzo Arjano unable to convert, but looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field, maybe, possibly. Yes. Yep.
Well, I mean, field position is not terrible. Turn it over here.
Yeah.
They're clearly all about points, so this is not out of character.
Fourth down. Montgomery's already got one stop on fourth down, and again, they're going to bring pressure. Arjano's going to throw as he looks up the seam, and oh my gosh, does he come down with that? He does. Holy cow, a one-handed catch in the end zone. Another touchdown for Northern Highlands, and you know what? I know we've been poking fun at a lot of things during this first half. Wow, that was an awesome catch.
That was extremely impressive.
Holy cow. Let's see if we can get another look at it here. See how good Pogue is. Wow, look at that. One, just stick the paw out and reel it in for the touchdown. Can you slow that down at all there, Pogue? I know that we bought this technology for a reason here as the extra point. Good snap and a good hold, and Benitez nearly blocks it again, but it's good. Let's see it again here. Slowing. Oh, wow. Holy cow.
Somebody check his gloves. Check his gloves. They seem extra sticky.
Wow.
Jeez.
Well, Northern Highlands, you got your 40 burger in the first half. Northern Highlands 40 and Montgomery 14. How about that? On four. Now, you want to get a little deeper into that. How confident are you, if you're Arjona, to be able to uncork that one on fourth down? You're like, well, we could use the first down, but I'm going for 6, baby.
Yeah, what's the worst that happens? Just throw a dime into the end zone, one-hand snag on fourth down, no pressure.
Holy mackerel.
Pretty good.
That's and lest anyone forget, there's still 2 minutes to go in the first half.
That's the first half, huh?
Yeah, still 24 other minutes to go in this one. There's another pooch kick and a fair catch made at the 31-yard line for the Cougs, and that's where they'll take over. But you know what? Listen, Schmelzer could have. If you had Mike Schmelzer in fantasy, you might be in for a good day on this one.
I mean, it only takes 6, 7, 8 seconds to throw that bomb touchdown. We do that a few times. Different ball game.
How many times? Several.
Many. More than one. More than two.
What is several, Alex?
Oh, jeez.
Better than saying what is several, Aaron. After I don't know if you saw the Aaron Rodgers nonsense today.
I did.
His nonsensical quotes. First down for Schmelzer and the Cougs as he's going to try to load up and go up the seam. Again, I'd love to tell you what happens, and I'm going to say that it didn't go well based on the reaction of the folks at the line.
Yeah, the crowd was not fired up. That was an incompletion.
Nope. So we'll say second down on that one.
I mean, I like the idea, though. At this point, let's see what you can do. Throw us back into this one.
How frustrating is this? My
yes,
God!
Yes.
Don't ever let me tell you that we're gonna just take the easy road out and broadcast football remotely, because these huddle cams are horrendous for football. They're a little better for hoops, at least. It's not as far to go, as that one's gonna be incomplete, intended for Davino.
You say easy way out as we look around this room.
I know.
Of 3 monitors, cameras.
You
Easy. Yeah,
You
easy.
saw the disaster that is my dining room right now with all this technology.
Yeah, you got a budget studio in
You
your
know what?
dining room.
You know what the great part about this is? I think back to like 2013 when I couldn't get the audio right on just when we were only doing radio because I had like crappy cords. I just didn't want to spend like the $18 on cords.
You would have been sitting in a room. It's like you got a stone and a rock and you're banging it going, it's not working.
Where's the fire? Schmelzer on third down as he's going to throw, and he goes up the seam, and that one's incomplete. So, yeah, oh, man, back in those days, you talk about slamming your head into a wall. I couldn't understand why a $3.99 cord was no good.
Listen, the guy at Radio Shack said it was fine.
Yeah, and you know what the bad part is? That's where I bought them all. It was radio.
Radio Shack on Olden.
No, there used to be one over here in Lawrenceville that we would go to all the time. And they were like, yeah, what of it? Just take these. They're fine. Oh, it was so bad. Fourth down in a punting situation for Montgomery as Benitez gets it off on the right foot, and this one fielded at the 36. Cutting it back into the middle of the field and still on his feet into Cougar territory is Charlie Sparago. So a good return for the Highlanders. But yeah, oh dude, I used to the number of hours that I will never have back in my life because of how I used to do crap on the MIRE. Oh my God. It was so bad. And I hope to God that 10 years from now I'm not looking back on this going, wow, what were you doing?
You really think you won't?
I don't know.
You really think you won't?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
Arjano still throwing as it's complete again inside the 35-yard line down to about the 33.
Yeah, seems like a running down. A little surprising.
And they're calling timeouts. They're trying to slap another 7 on here. I'm dead serious when I ask this. Did we piss them off somehow?
I feel like there must have been somebody's cousin goes somewhere and there was something. Because this is bad blood.
And they're going to get a penalty tacked on to the end of the play, and it's going to be a personal foul of some kind because they marched off another 15 yards. So I take that back. It wasn't a timeout. It was a flag. But regardless, Northern Highlands, as if they needed any more help, is in business again inside the 25. Arjano is throwing a deep pass inside the 10 to the 5, and they're going to go in again. Another touchdown, Northern Highlands. Took them exactly 48 seconds. How about that? Let's watch it again. Look at the corner route here. Just a simple two-man route as they run it to the outside, and boy, Arjano put it right on him.
I mean, as a receiver, it doesn't get much easier than that.
Nope.
Your quarterback's putting it in your chest, right near the end zone.
That's a fantastic route, and Northern Highlands is on pace for 94. As the extra point is good from about 57 yards out, and 47-14, Northern Highlands leads Montgomery. Let's take a quick break here. Caught in the mire. It is, I think, the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Mire. How many possessions is it? No, it's not. It's not a three. Well, I guess it is a three-possession game. Coach Bassford wanted to know whether we could spin this as being a three-possession game.
How? Do the math.
No, but you can't.
No. Oh, we can go. We can
maybe.
get there. Yeah, we can get there.
Still got to score.
All I know is 33 is not,
Here's a return for the Cougs out past the 25-yard line.
I mean, all I know is 33 divided by 3 is
11.
Yeah, it's not the number.
I was an English major, folks. That's all I'm willing to admit. This has been, as much as we joke, absolutely impressive by Northern Highlands. They went down 7-0. Montgomery looked, we were all fired up. And
that was a great drive, though.
It was fantastic. And Northern Highlands completely unfazed.
Yeah.
Completely unfazed. Here is a give off the right side, and Benitez is going to get about 6 on the play out to the 35. So Cougars understandably in no hurry. And again, lest you were concerned, Northern Highlands gets the kickoff to start the third quarter. Here's Schmelzer on second down as it'll be Benitez, a little jump cut, and he makes a guy miss, and he's got another 3.5. It'll be a hair shy of a first down. I think Montgomery will be able to let this one go to the half if they want to. And we'll see, and that is exactly what they are going to do. The final 5 seconds tick away in quarter number 2, and after a fantastically hot start for Montgomery, Northern Highlands is showing you why they are the top seed in Group 4 North. 47-14, Northern Highlands leads it. It's halftime. We're going to step away. We'll be back. We're going to bring on Montgomery assistant basketball coach Joe Bassford for the second half, and hopefully a little more success in the final 2 quarters. You're caught in the mire. This is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. welcome back to the Mire. Keith Glock and Matt Pogue, very happy to be joined by the head coach of the Montgomery golf team, the assistant coach of your Montgomery boys basketball team, Joe Bassford. Coach Bass, what's up, buddy?
Hi, Keith. Hi, Matt. Thank you so much for having me. It's awesome to be here to see the behind-the-scenes procedure going on here. I've always been impressed with you guys, and I've benefited so much from watching this at home with my wife and kids, and now I'm here and I'm seeing it, and it's even more impressive. So thank you for what you do and bringing us here to watch our Montgomery football team.
Well, you're welcome. I would say we would have the camera on us, except you're wearing an unauthorized Ellis Incorporated property management shirt.
Ells Inc.
that'd be
is
a
my best
liability.
friend's company down in South Jersey.
Whoa,
Ells Inc.
whoa.
There you go.
Whoa. They haven't paid the bill,
Oh,
bro.
I'm on it. I'm on it. See, that's why I'm wearing it.
They're not a
it's coming.
sponsor yet.
Yet. That's a phone call you need to make, okay?
Happily support the Mire. Absolutely.
That's it. So I'm going to, as we're seeing Montgomery and Northern Highlands come back onto the field as they're going to warm up for the third quarter of play, we were talking about the difference earlier between Cranford and Northern Highlands, both obviously very skilled teams, and that you could just look at Cranford and go like, oh, okay, yeah, like, yeah, in the words of my niece, y'all are good at football. Okay? That's pretty obvious when the whole offensive line is 300 pounds. And then you see Northern Highlands, and, you talk about highly schemed. You talk about pace. You talk about, certainly clearly these folks are well coached. There's no doubt about it. I think, Pogue, as you're looking at the camera glitching, I don't think that's us. I think that's the camera.
I mean, that's a gut reaction that.
No, because the reason I can tell you that it's the camera is because our graphics are not glitching. It's just the camera glitching.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking was when this was happening that Northern Highlands, on some level, is the Montgomery basketball team. If you come look at Montgomery basketball, in the years that we've been really good, we have some really good players. You have a Justin Kovacevic, you have a James Lupos, you have a Ryan McCoy, right? And they have an Enzo Argiano. They, whatever. But the level of coaching that they have, the scheme that they have, the discipline that they play with, the things that they do to you are Montgomery basketball-esque, because you might not look the part. You don't have 300-pound guys running around. You don't have the whole lineup isn't 6'10", right? I mean, so on some level, listen, Northern Highlands is Montgomery basketball. Did I sell that well enough?
I like it. I like it. Northern Highlands is obviously, they're happy to hear what you're saying, that they don't pass that eye test, as we often call it. And sometimes you have that eye test in warm-ups, and you look at a team and you go, wow, they're really tall. They're really athletic. Look at these moves in layup lines, or look at these guys in warm-ups. And you get this image in your head as to what you're going to be going up against, and you get these hopes and expectations based on that. And then when the game starts, you either find out you were dead wrong or you were maybe a little bit right. But in this case, Northern Highlands is incredibly skilled. Regardless of how big and tall they are just doing an excellent job in the game. They're showing their skill set. Yeah, and as is in Montgomery, we like to sometimes, maybe we don't have all the height. We don't always pass the eye test and layup lines based on how we look. But, we always like to think that we're going to be well coached. We're going to come out. We're going to be skilled. We're going to play hard. And I think that's what you're seeing here tonight. Northern Highlands is obviously a very good football team, and they're the #1 seed for a reason.
The Venmo just came through on the L's Incorporated, so we're good. And I also wish that was true, by the way.
Hey, you never know. You never know. Look out. You never know. Very generous friend I have.
Amanda, make sure you send him the link, okay? We just mentioned him twice on the air. All 26 people watching.
Send him the invoice.
He's ear to ear right now at home watching, for sure.
Love it. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, Joe Bassford, we're with you live in the Mire, and this is playoff football as we are getting set to start the second half. Montgomery at Northern Highlands. Just to give you a quick recap on how we got here. Last weekend, Montgomery was a win-and-in situation against Cranford and did not win against one of the state's best teams and needed some help in order to qualify for the North 1 Group 4 playoffs, and they got that help from Demarest, who defeated. Why am I losing my mind? Demarest. We were Demarest fans. Let's put it that way.
Big fans. Big
Bergenfield.
fans. Know their whole schedule.
There you go. Demarest defeated Bergenfield last weekend, and that put us into the playoffs. And that's why the trip all the way up to number 1 Northern Highlands, and they are as advertised, for sure. I apologize in advance for the glitchiness of this camera that we're about to see here as we start the third quarter, and we're getting a little something here. Pogue, you take this one away for a second while I try to fix this.
I mean, the first half was it was a little bit of what we expected, but at the same time, it was more of a punch in the mouth than I think we were actually planning to have. So it's tough to say exactly, did we get to run the things we were trying to run? Did we get to do everything we game planned for? So, I mean, the second half will be interesting because clearly there's going to be adjustments. I mean,
yeah, knowing Coach Milich and their coaching staff, they're going to do all they can to keep fighting and come out in the second half and show nothing but heart and grit and do all they can to compete in this football game. They obviously had a great plan coming into the game, as you saw on the first drive. Coach Carty had a nice scheme coming in as they scored the first touchdown. But then from there, things happen, and obviously Northern Highlands is really skilled, and it's been a tough battle from there on out. So we'll see what happens here in the second half.
See what we got going on. As we had a re-kick of some kind, possibly.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what the heck was going on there, but
Couple
in any
glitches,
event,
couple
we're
glitches.
back.
Not from the MIRE though. This is not your
No,
problem.
that was not a. Listen, no one cares whether it was an us problem or not. All they know is that they're logged into us, and that's it. Pogue, you threw nameplates up there. Look at that, reaching back into the archives for that one.
I did.
For the Joe Bashford nameplate.
The Bashford one was old school.
Old
nice.
school.
Very
Nice.
old school.
Been around a long time.
Oh boy,
here.
you want to talk old school? Northern Highlands went first half old school as Arjano just went up top and threw another bomb down the field for a Northern touchdown. Holy cow!
Not the start you wanted.
No.
Oh, you're gonna fit in here. You're gonna fit in here.
You're perfect for this job. Let me tell you. Oh my!
I know.
Goodness.
Listen, I've been a part of it all, and it's they're going up against a tough team here, and it's obviously not the start you want to come in the second half. But I don't doubt at all that this team is going to keep on fighting, and they got here. It's what got them here from their 0-3 start, as you showed in the pregame film there, and it's all about having some heart here for the rest of the way.
Wow. Let's take another look at it here. As you see Arjano loading up, this is going to be 52 yards up the seam, and that's good.
That's real good. Real good.
Wow. How about that? 54-14 Northern Highlands. So how about that basketball team, Coach, that we got going on coming up?
I'm excited.
Oh, boy.
Only 2.5, 3 weeks left till the season begins. We take the court with the guys, and we have a lot returning from last year. We have some young guys coming up this year. Obviously, we're led by one of the most skilled players we've ever seen in Ryan Curry. He's surrounded by some really good shooters, a 6'9" Aryan Gordy in the middle. And having those guys around him is going to be what makes us extremely competitive all year long. And if it's anything, from what we've seen in the fall with the way that our guys competed against some tough teams, I think we're going to be in good shape this year. I'm really looking forward to it. Just getting back out on the court, especially with some fans in the stands, which we didn't have much last year. So it's going to be exciting.
No doubt. Excited to get with you guys and deal with some Montgomery basketball on the MIRE. We're pretty excited about that, actually. I'm not going to lie to you. As the kickoff from Northern, fielded at the 10-yard line by Jenkins. And, man, you want to talk about something that is going to be a footnote, if it even makes it into the footnotes of this game. Northern kicks the ball off relatively short and then they teleport to go
Yeah.
to cover kicks.
Yeah.
Somehow. It's as impressive a kickoff coverage unit as we've seen all year.
You think that's the plan?
There's no doubt. I mean, we're catching the ball at the 10 and getting tackled at the 20. This is high school football. You know what I mean? Like, that's not supposed to happen. I'm sorry. So here is Mike Schmelzer as they'll go to Benitez on the first offensive play of the half for the Cougs, and that'll get about 2. So slow goings to begin things.
I mean, you can't just go deep every play. You're going to end up in a situation where
No doubt. No doubt.
clock is stopped, we're turning the ball over. So I understand it, but at the same time you have to wonder, what is the plan here?
Gotta hope you got a 40-pointer in the arsenal there.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
We say that a lot in basketball. Maybe you shoot a half-court shot. Maybe it would be worth more than just 3 at times when you're down a lot.
Well,
but
in the Big 3 league, it actually is. So
Right.
that's going to come across the NBA soon.
something to be said. It's a lot further than a 19-footer. It should be worth a little bit more.
Incomplete on second down as they were trying to set up something short. But I've said this before on the air, too. I know as a ref, I'm saying that all the time. Coaches that call a timeout down 8 goals in lacrosse with 90 seconds to go. I'm like, I don't think they have a 9-pointer in the arsenal. As Schmelzer tries to throw one out for Jenkins, and he had a bunch of guys in his face. So that one was incomplete. If you're curious as to why the clock is running, we're in second half protocol, as once you hit a point differential threshold, the clock just rolls, and we are beyond that threshold, so that's why you see that happening. And I can tell you right now, Northern Highlands has earned every bit of it to get that running clock. Benitez gets the kick away, and this one is going to be short and down at about the 48. So that's where Northern Highlands will take over, first down and 10. I think we might get a look at J.R. Wally, who is the backup quarterback, a sophomore. Yep, you see number 4 trotting onto the field there for the Highlanders.
I'm curious to see what do they expect out of him. I mean, is this just get reps, or is this he also has a cannon, and we're going to see what he can do?
Right? I'm going to hope that it's the second part of that. It'll be a handoff out to the right. That would certainly look like a face mask. And I don't know if anybody caught that one. Nope,
that was
that's
clean.
fine.
That was clean.
John Abu Salman, sophomore running back. Man, how fortunate are you when you have guys at your skill positions who are the same class? Like you have a sophomore quarterback and then maybe a sophomore running back and a sophomore wide receiver. So those guys can all grow up together and be impact players. Like you certainly are going to have guys who are sophomores who play running back, but they might not ever play running back for you,
Most coaches will say that's a good problem to have because it often sometimes creates a little tension because you get both guys wanting to go for those spots, or you want to try to get everybody the playing time they deserve because they're really skilled. But at the same time, you can put them in different places and they're so skilled that they can still contribute in different ways, which is obviously helpful to the team.
Cole Stecker goes backwards for Northern Highlands on second down. Loss of about 6 or 7 on the play. So it'll bring up third down for the Highlanders. And they'll look to throw, and that one is knocked down at the line of scrimmage. So good job by Montgomery to hold serve on that possession. Coach, as you've seen, your guys now kind of grow into these roles. You have, and I'm talking on the basketball court now. You have guys that have pretty disparate backgrounds, I would say. You have a guy like Ryan Curry who was playing as a freshman, who was, I mean, in my opinion, probably the most talented freshman in terms of potential and production that we've had, because you guys consistently play freshmen all the time.
Sure.
But he was probably the most impressive. And then you have a guy like Arjen Gordy, who, like, you talk about putting in the time and learning the position and like learning the sport, as he's going, right? I mean,
Sure.
And now you put all those pieces together, and you have a Division I point guard, and we can talk about that in a minute. And then you have a 6'10" guy on the interior. You have another guy who can handle the ball up top. You have JT Szymborski, who's growing into that, that wing spot, and because you've always had those, right? Yeah. What does Montgomery have? Point guards and shooters, right? I mean, you drive.
That's
and
what
you
we
kick.
like. That's what we like.
That's it. And you somehow sprinkle in a 6'10" kid. You're like, you know what? Who is there anybody else that's 6'11" that we could find?
Not turning that down,
right? But when you bring all those pieces together, how does that gel? How do you make that gel, I guess is what I'm saying as a coach.
Sure, and that's a great question. First off, going back to what you said about Ryan Curry as a freshman, not only did he contribute at a very high level as a freshman, he contributed with a team that had 11 seniors.
Right.
And 11 really good seniors, and seniors who played and were really good leaders, and arguably one of our best teams ever. So sometimes you get a freshman who comes on and plays on a team that's struggling, and you need them to go in right away. Ryan kind of never really rushed anything. He played a little JV with me, and was really great at that level.
That lasted about 5 seconds.
He didn't leave us much choice where we had to get him going to varsity, and
right.
he stepped in on the varsity floor, and the first shot he took was a 3, and he made it. And it was like, okay, and there was a joke because they looked at me and said, "See you, Coach Bassford, he's done with you," and that was it. And then he never looked back. He never played for me another minute, nor should he have. So that was great for him, and he gained a lot of experience. So with his experience through 4 years, you rely on him as the captain, kind of the leader, kind of the quarterback of the team that helps direct the team. He's got the ball in his hands the majority of the game. And when you surround him with shooters and a 6'9", 6'10" kid, he's going to find them, and they're going to have opportunities, these kids. And guys like JT and Luke Smith and Matt Levy, all these other guys on our team are going to be ready to shoot, and they're capable of knocking down an open shot. And they're going to get those opportunities a ton throughout the game. And with Arjen Gordy, that kid, like you mentioned, as a freshman, was not playing JV and varsity as a freshman. He's someone who really learned the game and who grew in his role and grew as a player and developed a ton throughout the years, really a ton. I mean, I can't say enough at how far he has come from the time he was a freshman and, being with me in the summer league on the JV team as a freshman to where he is now. It's night and day. He didn't have that experience as a kid growing up, in first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade in the feeder system as much as the other kids did. And, now it comes down to we have all these pieces and we got to put the puzzle together, but these guys have played together a ton in the summer, in the fall. They play together on their own without us even telling them to. They hang out with each other. The chemistry, hopefully, is there. And that's all you can ask for as a coach is some good chemistry with some good kids that care for each other and care for the betterment of the team. And, we know that Ryan's going to be our leader and help us do that.
2 straight runs from Benitez on first and second down have left Montgomery in a 3rd and 5 as we're nearing the end of the 3rd quarter. That's what a running clock will do for you. As Schmelzer will throw out to the right, and that is caught for a first down inside Northern territory at the 45-yard line. So moving the sticks is Schmelzer on that play. And, well, I don't even want to get into it because we're running out of time. We'll take a break at the end of the 3rd quarter, and then we can talk about it when we come back.
Sure.
But let's see what Michael has dialed up here on first down if the Cougs can get some more points. It's Benitez, and Alex is going to be tackled just shy of the line of scrimmage, and that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Northern Highlands showing us very much why It is the number 1 seed in North 1 Group 4. It's always a mouthful for me. Final 12 minutes on tap of the football season. Coming up right after this, you're caught in the mire. It is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Mire. Keith Glock, Matt Pogue, and Montgomery assistant basketball coach Joe Bassford live from the command center in Lawrenceville as we're getting ready to start quarter number 4, and Schmelzer mishandles the snap on second down. So no bueno. I guess that's probably representative of how things have gone on the evening if you just exclude drive number 1. It's kind of been...
That was a great drive, though. drive number 1,
was.
best drive I've seen.
Listen, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, as a coach, when you come into a superior team, and that's what they are, Northern Highlands, they're the 1 seed. You got to give them that respect. And when you come in and you score and you punch them in the mouth on the first drive, you're excited as a coaching staff. You're excited as players. You created some energy there that, you know, they're not going to forget that. I know the outcome's not the way they wanted, and things have certainly turned in a different direction, but you know, that was a good moment for Montgomery football regardless, because it was a tough road to get here. They got here. You're playing the 1 seed. You just want a little bit to take with you and hang your hat on as you leave this game tonight.
Now, I want to tell you something. That was as remarkably insightful a analysis as you're going to get. And I completely agree with everything you just said. You led with, if you don't mind. What if I minded? Like, what if I minded on that one?
Well, we better go back and start over.
Right. We got to
better tell me something different.
It's a 4th down play for the Cougs as they were out of bounds on the previous play, and a short punt from Benitez is down at the 36-yard line. And just for the record, Coach, when it comes to your analysis, I never mind.
I don't mind. Nobody
Never
minds. Nobody minds.
Trying to paint a good picture on it. And I get that the score is not what they want. You're not going to be happy. You want to win. You come to win. You always come to win. You prepare to win. They obviously did prepare to win the way they came in. They didn't come here to lay over and let them, beat them by 40 points or whatever it may be. But
no, dude, let me tell you something. I joke about this all the time. You all, and when I say you all, I mean high school coaches. And I don't care what sport it is, except for golf, because you really do get over on golf. Okay, I gotta say that.
Love golf.
I bet you do. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that one on the side. Outside of that, you're the least compensated human beings per hour that anybody could. If you actually parsed out the hourly wage, it would be like $1.97.
Yeah, don't do it.
Is that what it is?
Don't do the math. Don't. It's not good.
It's better than $1.96.
If it's and honestly, if it's $1.97, I would be surprised.
Yeah,
like you and I think that's pretty representative of. And what a play by Benitez.
Awesome.
How about that? You
love that.
Let's get back to actual
sure
life for 1 second before we go back to our insanity. Poke, show me this again. Look at Benitez here. Come off the edge, shed a block, drop him at the 39. It's 54-14. I don't care this is the thing that annoys me about where's he going to college? He doesn't know. You know why? Because he doesn't run the stinking 40-yard dash fast enough for some college coach to care. This game is 54-14, and my man just threw the left tackle away and made a tackle 2 yards in the backfield.
No. Score was not 54-14. On that play, it was me 1, you 0.
That's
right.
You heard Brian Santinello talk about him in the pregame, and he called him the best player that he's ever coached. And you know what? That play right there is representative of that fact. That is awesome. And I know that we have talked Alex Benitez out the wazoo this year. So if you're tired of it, I'm sorry, and I don't care.
Nobody's tired of it.
No,
Nobody's tired of that.
And Keith, is even a basketball coach, whatever it is, I can't tell you enough. That play is why he's the best football player. That's why Coach Santa said that. They're down 54-14. A lot of times in sports, it's easy to be aggressive. It's easy to be a rah-rah guy when you're up 54-14. But who's making plays when you're down 54-14? When the game is lost and people are hanging their heads and you still have a guy that's going through a wall for his teammates, down 40 points, and that's what it's about. That's what you want to see. And if I were a college coach, which I'm not, certainly, I'm looking at that play amongst many other plays. That's the play I want to see. The kid's down 40 points, and he's still going through the wall, making a play for his teammates. Not making a one-handed grab, not doing all that. Just that right there is enough to get that kid a scholarship offer in college.
That was fantastic. All right, we can go back to being idiots now. After that.
That was hard.
We're better at that.
That was real
yeah,
hard.
We're better at
that was a couple minutes of don't say the wrong thing. Don't say what comes to mind.
A fantastic first down run for Northern Highlands and a fantastic play in the backfield by Montgomery. So that'll set up Northern Highlands with a second down at about 11. You guys made a decision basketball-wise last year because there was nothing normal about last season, obviously, given the COVID situation and how you all smartly, I think, practiced and played in terms of pods and segregating kids. Because if you had, which you didn't, but if you had, and there's a play in the backfield and a sack for Montgomery back past the 45-yard line, and Guidetti it looked like was in the backfield, that you made a decision that there were guys that were not going to play varsity basketball that probably could have.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Melt and Davino and guys that, if I know you all at all, you would have, they would have had some minutes at the end of games. But, it was kind of a situation where you're going to get these guys all the basketball playing experience that you could, and that was probably the best way. What now, a year later, as Northern Highlands, I suppose, get sacked? Yep, looks like there was a sack all the way back there. Fantastic play by the Cougs. Wish you all could have saw it. Thank you to automation. As you look back now on it, what did that yield the fruits that you thought it would?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to find out. There was two sets of kids. There was kids who had to play strictly JV, meaning they sacrificed their ability to play any varsity minutes. And then there was kids who would have played a lot of JV basketball and got a lot of in-game experience that sacrificed that to practice against the varsity. And while both had challenges, both had things that I'm sure they were disappointed about, I think you have to look at it as a player and you have to spin it in a positive direction, because you have to say, okay, I didn't choose this. This is what coach is telling me. I'm going to accept my role. I'm going to make the best of it. So if I'm playing just JV, I'm going to get a lot of game experience. I'm going to get a lot of in-game experience on JV. That's great. And take that with me to the next year when I play varsity. If you didn't play JV and you potted with the varsity and you just practiced varsity, you have to spin that and say, I'm defending guys like Ryan Curry, Chris Rabio, Noah Vlasic, and Matt Prescott every day in practice. Man, I'm going to get better. I'm going to get better by going against them every day in practice. And now next year, which is what it's about, we're going to see how that comes into play. And I think we're still yet to find that out, but I'm confident that these guys are ready. I feel like we have a very experienced team, even though we lost the seniors that we lost last year, which were very crucial members of our team, but we have experience. It really feels like that coming in with Josh Moore getting a lot of varsity experience last year, JT Samborski getting a lot of varsity experience, and some of the other guys who played a lot of JV have been already playing with these guys. So I think it's going to pay off, and I hope they see the benefits that they got wherever they went.
You saw a bad snap there from Northern Highlands, so a 0-yard punt, which you don't see very often, but saw it there. So Montgomery takes over in business. And I think I agree with you, Coach. you guys just do such a good job as a coaching staff of identifying where your talent is. As Benitez will look for room off the left side, and it's limited to about 2 yards. Schmelzer in there to go pick him up. You guys have your finger on the pulse of your team better than almost any team I've ever seen. And I think that speaks to kind of the connection that you all preach and live, that is family, right? I mean, it's got to work that way.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and we obviously strive for that. We obviously try to get to know our players as best we can, and a lot of that comes from the summertime and the workouts that we do and the time that we spend with them. And I think that's what's so crucial and sometimes underestimated with how often we work out in the summer. It's not just working out. It's not just drilling these kids to get them to be the best basketball players they can be. That's part of it, but a part of it is us being around them. We get to know them. We're getting lunch. We're working camp together. We're hanging out. We're joking around with each other. And that chemistry is something that you can't ever measure. You just can't measure that. And I never know how great it is until sometimes we step on the floor and I see these kids who are really become great friends. And they take the floor together and they bond and they know where each other is going to go. And that's the thing that, I hope that we get from them with all that we do, because we do spend a lot of time together.
You saw after the first down play, hockey line change, as we like to joke in basketball, and it was Schmelzer and Benitez and all of them that came out and brought in Will Dawson and a pick six. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that didn't go how I thought it was going to go when I set up that intro before that play started. But in any event, another scoring play for Northern Highlands. But I suppose the takeaway there was what we need to talk about was we'll talk about it in a second. What you're trying to show me something here,
if we're talking hustle, I mean, Schmelzer threw.
No, this is Will Dawson, by the way.
Will Dawson threw the pick six. He's not giving up on the play either. Still giving the effort. Still trying. Almost got the toe tap. Almost.
Good effort.
Went for it. Extra point. Up and good from Northern Highlands. To take stock in what we're seeing now. The score of this game completely aside, we're seeing the conclusion of a career for Alex Benitez that, when he was I remember back when he was in 8th grade hearing, hey, there's this kid coming up who's like a real good athlete. And, I take that with a grain of salt. You've been... you do this long enough, and there's a lot of hype around a lot of kids, and there's really only 2 or 3 that in my career of 15 years at Montgomery that I could say have lived up to that hype. If you want to look backwards across different sports, I would say there wasn't even that kind of hype coming up about a James Lupos or about a Ryan McCoy. It was like, well, these guys, can play, but, Lupos was a multiple sport athlete and stuff like that. McCoy, same deal, kind of at the 16-yard line for Jenkins. Here's a return. Oh, he's tripped up out at the 35. That, I would probably say the most notable guys didn't even end up coming to Montgomery. Tristan Jeffries was, I would say, the most hyped probably. Wade Baldwin was another one. And then probably Benitez. Really, if I think about, 8th grade hype, and I think it serves as a kind of a beacon. If this is the Atlantic Ocean, he's the lighthouse for all you people to think you need to go to a private school to succeed the way that you otherwise might. You don't need to do that. Bass, you could speak to this better than anybody.
Uh-huh.
If Tristan Jeffries came to Montgomery, he would have been a legend.
He would have been a
He
legend.
went to 17 different high schools.
Yeah, he would have been a legend his first year as a freshman. It's a tough thing for these kids with social media and so much pressure and AAU to go different places. It's often easy to think that the grass is greener somewhere else. And that's the world we live in right now. And it is unfortunate because you could come to a public school, your local school, you could be the star. You could shine from the first year you get in. You can have 4 years. You can play for your community. I mean, I won't even mention names, but I've had kids who went the other route that have come back to me and said, wow, I wish I played for my community and had the crowds like you guys had and the chemistry that your team has. And that's a true statement. I'm not just saying that. I've had it several times, and it's the same story we hear over and over again, that we got to go here, we got to go there to get the exposure. If you're good, they're going to find you. College coaches are not dumb guys. They're very smart guys, and if they see talent, they're going to find you, whether it's at a public school, a private school, whether you pay to go to school, whether you don't pay to go to school. If you're talented, they will find you. It's as simple as that.
All the seniors on this team, Benitez very much included in that. Brandon Fury, who we know ad nauseum, is he's our boy, and maybe more of our boy than any senior has ever been in the MIRE.
Awesome kid.
Fantastic. The Andre Sumalants of the world and Mark Jenkins, just to salute them. But stay home, folks. Look at what Alex Benitez was able to do as a member of the Montgomery football program, and he leaves as the program's all-time leading rusher. He leads as the all-time point scorer, and then to hear him, talked about by a guy like Brian Santinello, and he will be talked about by others in the same vein as the best football player they ever coached. Go back and watch that play when they're up or they're down 54-14 as the only evidence you need about what kind of a player and what kind of a human being that he is. And congratulations to these players, to Alex, to Brent, to every senior who's leaving this program, because to be in the playoffs and be a part of this was something that 5-6 weeks ago we never could have imagined.
No, if you told me at that point 0-3, 0-4, yeah, we'll be watching the playoff game. We'll be seeing what's happening. I wouldn't have believed you. They proved all of us wrong.
When you see something like this happen, that I was going to say go back to their huddle, but the huddle camera went away from the Montgomery players. You see something like this happen where a team is facing such adversity, and then they're able to come back and have the level of success that this Montgomery football team did. As a coach, you have to just have something inside of you has to go
feel
off,
it.
right?
Yeah, I feel it right now watching them kneel as we're watching on this screen, and all these kids kneeling down and knowing it was the seniors' last game and knowing they played such a tough opponent. I mean, with basketball, we've been there. Let's be honest. We've had our fair share of games like this. We've played some tough teams. We've had our season end cut short. We've battled. We've had it all. And I know that locker room feeling. I know what those kids are going through. It's the coaches who have poured their hearts out day in and day out, going home at night, literally laying in their bed, not falling asleep, thinking about what they can do for these kids to make them better at football. And I know for a fact, talking to them, that's what happens. And it's a tough ending. It's never easy to say goodbye to these kids. So my hat goes off to the coaches, the seniors, and all the players of the Montgomery football team.
I got to tell you, this has been as enjoyable a football season for me and for us as you possibly could have imagined. You had ups and you had downs. It was not one thing, any day, one after the other, and I think that's what makes sports great, and it's certainly when you put some emotion into it and you have your heart and your head invested in the whole thing in the way that we do, not just being the MIRE, but being employees and teachers of this, and we get to see these kids every day. that this
They
is
can't say it, but I got to say that the MIRE has just been an absolute amazing thing for the community, and I'm going to just jump in and say that because it has been great for my family, for the families of the players. So thank you, Keith and Matt. I'm going to applaud you, and
got
hopefully at home they're applauding you as well. Thank you for all that you do.
this has been an awesome season. It is the first of our segments of the 2021-2022 school year. And while this one comes to an end, another one will just be beginning. So please hang with us. We will have I'm not going to tell you we're going to have Muck and Mire this week because I got some things going on that we're not going to have that, but we're going to get a couple episodes of our Muck and Mire podcast in between here and when basketball season begins. And as you know, the Montgomery basketball program has been remarkably loyal to us, and we will always be to you all.
Can't wait
for having us, and we're super excited. You all start practice when?
The Monday before Thanksgiving. I believe that's the 23rd. I could be wrong, but
love it.
Monday
First
before
game
Thanksgiving.
First scrimmage game is December 6th, I want to say.
It is, and we open up against
Hillsborough
this year. So
December 16th against Hillsborough on a Thursday night. That's the first game. We're going to try to do a little preseason Montgomery basketball just to make sure we have all our ducks in a row. And because we typically, mess up the first game of the season for everybody.
Only if it's Phillipsburg.
That's right.
Only if it's Phillipsburg.
Peaburg-Meyer curse that we're going to try to avoid this year.
It's going to be Hillsborough, so it's going to be a little neighborhood rival, friendly rival.
Love it.
But it's obviously a big game for us. So
I'm still waiting for you guys to just somehow get Ian Projan to come over and coach on the Montgomery staff.
Oh man, wouldn't that be nice?
You would
what a
love
coach!
that.
What a coach!
We would love that. Football season has come to a close, not in the way that we would have loved, but listen. That's how athletics go. There's only a very small amount of teams that can win the last game that they play. This Montgomery team has been fantastic. They end the season 3-6 after a loss in the North 1 Group 4 playoffs at top-seeded Northern Highlands. Basketball season is just around the corner. This production and every production of the MIRE has been a production of the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Whether that's what you want to call all right, by the way, this is the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. You're looking at it right here. It's a production of the MIRE. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of this game without the express consent of the MIRE is strictly prohibited. Football season's come to an end on the road. 61-14 against top-seeded Northern Highlands. Basketball season begins in just about a month or so. Can't thank all of you enough for sticking with us through this season and through all of the seasons. Tim Bartholomew not here tonight, but we thank him, Matt Pogue, Joe Bassford. Thanks everybody out there for watching. We'll be back before you even know it, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. For everybody here at the MIRE, thanks for watching.